Welcome to another episode of The Unexpected Detour, where I like to say, where in life detours are inevitable. And I say that because we go on so many detours that they are inevitable. We either choose them or they choose us. But yesterday, I thought about something, and it really made me feel good. I listened to a word from a pastor that came to my church, and he spoke about liberation. I created my way of liberating myself. So let's start from the beginning. In January, I was beaded. Okay. Now these waist beads, they are prayed for. I found out a lot of things about the waist beads, but I knew there were things that I wanted to rid myself of. So with the waist beads and prayer, it actually did that. I mean, I'm sure the prayer is what helped, but the waist beads were symbolic of what I needed to release. So let me get right into this. There are so many versions of me that I struggled with forever. There was the broken version, there was the survivor version, the person that made bad choices. And because the versions they remember, they never gave themselves permission to go away. So that's what I want to talk about, freedom. And for me, that meant a lot to actually wake up and feel free, liberated. Let me tell you something. I've had the scars from my breast cancer, the scar from knowing I had hepatitis C, the scars from my addiction, the scars from being left alone after a man breaks your heart and you keep trying and it becomes a repetitive that it's like, you know what am I doing here? What am I doing that I need to have all of this going on? And as I was driving home, I thought about it. I thought probably because when I was growing up, I didn't feel good about myself, whereas to a fact, I was insecure, very insecure. And it took me a while to figure this out. I was so insecure that, you didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings because they would think some way of you. You know, you share things about you and you don't know what these people are going to do with the information that you shared. So for me, I guess in a way, I was looking for validation, affirmation, just to switch from somebody who you would think would be your friend to come to find out, if you ain't going their way, they're not your friend no more. And I was like, after 69 years, there's no way in this world that I am going to be subjected to anybody anymore hurting me mentally, physically, spiritually, and with my emotions. And that's why I came on here. It is Friday now. This is the Friday podcast. And I needed to just talk about it because I walked around with this quietly. And I functioned every day quietly, never saying anything. I was to the point where I just got so used to getting my feelings hurt that I would sit there and take that shit. Excuse my French. If you have virgin ears, I do apologize. But I would take the shit. People would talk about me, talk bad about me to my face. And not once did I put on my big girl panties and say, enough is enough. So during this time of transitioning with the bees and that word called liberation, I woke up and I said, you know what, Franny? It's time to let it go. Time to let go the past of how I was treated. I needed to free myself and never mind what other people say, because they're going to say it. No matter what, people will talk because they're people, and that is what they do. So I had to be liberated, and I had to do that in a way that I felt good about me. And I sat there and I thought about all the things that I told people. And I said, you know what, Lord? Let them talk, because I have no shame anymore of things I've done. And if you want to talk, you're going to talk. I cannot stop you from talking bad about me. But I came to the point whereas I needed to close the door on everything in the past. I needed to let it go. I needed to free myself emotionally. I needed to. And I believe that freedom first started when I had breast cancer. I believe that freedom first started when I had hepatitis C. I believe that freedom started when I kept choosing the same type of relationships over and over again to be hurt. But for me, not opening up my eyes to see actually what was going on, not to see, I didn't see that, God was protecting me, because I guess I just didn't want to see. I did not want to see at all. I wanted to believe that everything I was doing was right. But eventually, I learned that healing taught me a lot of things. And I can't spend my whole life worrying about what you all think of me. I can't spend my whole life worrying about the deep, dark secrets I've told you and what you do with that information. That is your business. But at least I've cleared myself. I've forgiven myself of all those things, and I'll forgive you too if you decide to speak my name out of your mouth. I needed to live in a life that was positive. I said at 69 years old, it is time to peel off the layers of hurt, the layers of validation, the layers to be affirmed, the layers to wanting some man to love me when I was already loving myself. I didn't need that anymore. I didn't need that. I found out that I am who I am. And I know that I am a good person. But I know one thing. I won't be defined by all of those things in my past, because they are now gone. I am not defined by the alopecia that is balled up in my head. I am not defined by the eczema that periodically comes out on my skin, the ear problem where I can't hear well, but I got one good ear, I'll tell you that. So I hear real good out of that one. My stature, the color of my skin, my body shape. The worst things I've ever done in life will never, ever, ever define me again. I have decided it is time to move on. I am defined by my love for other people, my life, my given spirit. That's what I'm defined by. I am who God created me to be. And if you've taken advantage of me and you happen to hear this and you know me, it's okay. I forgive you, because I cannot walk around holding on to bitterness, and unforgiveness, because what it was doing was eating me up inside. I just got tired. And I said, as I gradually walk into the year of 69, I want to make sure that the year of 69 remains the year where everything is gone, where everything is finished, where a new chapter actually can start. And that new chapter will begin with me being free. Free from pain, free from guilt, free from doing things that I had no business doing, free from my shame. I don't need approval anymore, and that is a good thing. I don't have a fear of being judged anymore. I don't need to explain myself anymore. That was weight. Could you imagine you have a ball and chain on you and this is wearing you down? And it didn't begin right away. It slowly crept in. It didn't start all at once. And I guess it didn't start all at once because I wasn't aware of exactly what was going on with myself. And sometimes we have to sit down and we have to look at ourselves and see ourselves for who we really are. Not what other people see, but see ourselves. And not let the words of what people call us hurt our feelings. But knowing in your heart that that's not you. And I believe that's what it is. Those words that people say to us. Those words that people they just pour it into you. Pour it into you. Whereas your mind begins to believe all those things. And then you're stuck. And then you sit back and you wonder, is that really me? Hell no, that ain't you. That is what the labels that they put on you. So with a lot of prayer, a lot of tears, a lot of survival, I came to find something else about myself. My story is not over. What tried to break me didn't destroy me. What was meant to shame me, actually, it strengthened me. So you gave me more power. And like the phoenix, I rose out of the ashes. I found pieces of myself that I thought were gone forever. Today, I no longer place the defeat over my life. No more defeat. No more defeat. I'm going to speak healing. I speak growth. I speak survival. I speak freedom. And maybe somebody who's listening tonight needs to understand that the scars are proof that you survived. Not proof that your life is over, but that you survived something. That you survived all those things that people said to you, they did to you. And I'm sure you've done your own damage yourself. Maybe to yourself, maybe to somebody else, but I'm telling you, it's time to move forward. Live the life you were created to live. And don't sit around feeling sorry for what happened way back then, what you did for this one way back then. It's done. It is done. And like I said in one of my other podcasts, you have to do things. When you do it with a good heart so that you never, ever have to go back and say, why did I do it? And sometimes the greatest act of healing is no longer needing permission from others to become who God created you to be. So tonight, we walk away from shame. We walk away from guilt. We walk away from needing validation from people who never understood our journey. And we walk towards freedom because you are no longer defined by scars. You are defined by who God created you to be. And with that, I'm going to say good night. But I want you to stay tuned till next Wednesday for another episode of The Unexpected Detour, where in life detours are inevitable. But until then, you keep walking and you keep walking in your strength. Have a good one.